In this service, we have a guest speaker. Woo, woo, woo. His name is Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. We're so blessed to have him. Paul has been here any number of times. He's no stranger to this spiritual community. If it's your first time meeting Paul Hasselbeck, you are in for a treat. Here's what I tell my students when they say, oh, I'm going to take metaphysics from Paul Hasselbeck. I go, get ready. Yeah. Your hair will be blown back, and you will be invited into seeing yourself in a whole new, expanded, beautiful, delightful, and divine way. Here at Unity at Mesa, we begin each of our times together, each of our services together, by coming into a time of prayer, affirming that there's only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotence. Let's take that essence that is alive within us, that presence and power of what we call God, divine mind, spirit, and recognize that our selves are alive in this moment, saying, I recognize you, and I recognize you in me. I recognize you as me. Every fiber of my being is alive and expressing the divinity we know. And we take a breath, resting in this wisdom, resting in the awareness of our wholeness and our pattern for perfection, resting in our own aliveness. For this great recognition of truth, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, and amen. Amen.
We have a couple of announcements for you.
See, the buzz is back.
The buzz is back. The buzz is back. You want to say it? The buzz.
There's another song about me back, but we're not going to go there.
Okay, different red.
Different red.
You got a buzz and. Okay.
Take the white one.
Yeah.
Here.
Now I've really got to sing to you.
Purity.
We're gonna have some reverb on it because we put reverb for our vocalists, so we really got to sing. So let's sing something. I am alive. No, we're gonna sing it in a minute. I am alive. Okay, you are alive then, right? Let's sing it again. I am alive. You got it. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm full of love.
I'm full of love.
All right. So now that you're all of that, which you've always been, but now you know, and I'm just playing with the reverb a little bit here. We have one announcement for you. We are collecting for Mulligan's Manor, which is a home where LGBTQAI plus individuals can go when they need some safety.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you needed safety, and it happens. What is beautiful is there's this great place to go. So in the back on the info table is a list of items that they're looking for. On the website is a list of items that they're looking for. So we are so grateful for your generous hearts that are going to fill that box that's in the back.
And if you fill it with gift cards, boy, have we got a lot of participation to go. No, I'm kidding. So go to the dollar store, go to Sam's, go to Costco, go to CVS, or go to any of those places that suggest gift card donations. These teens, these young people who have been disenfranchised from their families will be ever so grateful.
And now, if you will stand as you are able, we're truly going to sing. And you've practiced, so you're going to be fabulous today. Feel free to dance, to move. is we talk to someone or have someone really talk to us who has been in unity for a while. And we call this our intergenerational moment. So I'm going to ask Phil Hellier to come to talk with us. We're really getting some feedback here, Ben.
We need more feedback.
This is Phil Hellier, son.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. And happy Father's Day to all of us. Let me start with one or two other little things. Many years ago when I was younger, I used to be able to speak and teach and do presentations to up to 250 people. But in the last couple of years, there's been a couple times where I have to hunt for words. So if I kind of stop and don't say anything to you, it's not that I'm asleep or I don't love you, but that's kind of how it goes. When I was young, I was raised in the Russian Orthodox religion. So that was an interesting thing. I liked it because I wanted to be an altar boy because I loved the incense. When I went into the military, I had some fantastically good days and some horrible bad days. Hopefully the good days outdid the bad. But after I left the military, I was searching for a home. And I went through various churches. I went through Seventh-day Adventist, Christian Missionary Alliance, Baptist, Southern Baptist, Methodist, a little bit of everything that I tried. And a little bit over 20 years ago, I came to Unity of Mesa when Joel was still here, and kind of enjoyed it very much. Then we took a hiatus for a little while, and a little over a year ago, my wife and I came back, and I think we found our home. We thoroughly enjoyed all the people here and enjoyed the ministers. Thank you very much.
Wow. So we have next Isri here to give us our youth ministry message. Will you put the slide up?
I am renewed and nurtured by my earth home. Say it with me.
I am renewed and nurtured by my earth home.
Thank you very much.
Great job. That was fabulous. So we just want to, oh, Ezra, you want to write in the chat? Show that is coming up on the 2nd of July. Come get your ice cream, come show up your car. Let's have a good time. It's a fundraiser for the youth. And let's do the children's blessing so they can go. I got out of rhythm.
Children,
We
love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are.
Have a great time in Sunday school. Where is the door to God? In the sound of a barking dog, in the ring of a hammer, in a drop of rain, and in the face of everyone I see, and that is you.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Well now, I was so wrapped up in that, I didn't know it was my turn. And I've never got to do this, so I'm doing it. Woo! I'm back! And actually, it's been way too long. I was sharing with Mindy that I really feel at home in Phoenix.
Oh, yes.
I love the weather any time of the year. And she said, well, why aren't you moving here? Well, my life is back in Kansas City, and I have people who support me there that I love. So I'm staying there, but I can always visit. Hint. Okay, so you're ready to romp?
Yeah.
Well, so romping is what I do, metaphysical romping, and so we're going to have some fun today. Okay? I hope you learned some things. And at the very least, I hope you go home inspired. Okay, so here we go. Whoops, I'm already ahead of myself. So here we go. So I encourage your cell phone out, but with sound off, so you can take pictures of slides, if you so choose. Okay, and so relax, sit back like my minion friend there, and there's my email address, alberthasselbeck@gmail.com. Please reach out to me. I love getting email. My website is paulhasselbeck.com, and I do a sort of kind of weekly podcast called metaphysicalromp2.com with a couple friends of mine. So, I like to start with this. Gospel of Thomas. Jesus said, let one who seeks not stop seeking until that person finds, and upon finding, the person will be disturbed. I bet you never heard it that way before, right? And being disturbed will be astounded and will reign over the entire people. So you probably have heard the scripture, the truth will set you free, yes?
Yes.
Well, our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, added a line to that. He said, the truth about yourself. The truth about yourself. So that's what we're all about here in Unity. The truth about ourselves. Okay, so the title of this talk is The Fundamentals of Raising Consciousness. Now look, I can't teach you this in 20 minutes, but you'll know the basics. And then you can seek out Mindy and Nikki to fill it out, okay? The fundamentals of raising consciousness is such an important topic. And I love this. You're not yourself today. I noticed the improvement immediately. Oh, I see you've met people like that. Okay, so Max Planck, in 1931, he is pretty much the father of quantum physics, but quantum physics was being played with way back into the early 1900s. And believe it or not, Charles Fillmore was reading this stuff. He loved science. He loved the marriage between science and spirituality. A lot of spirituality separates science from it. He married them together in wonderful ways. So this is what Max Planck said. I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. Ever think about that? We cannot get behind consciousness. Now here's the really cool thing. So Max saw that consciousness was fundamental, that it wasn't derived from anything. Now, about 50% of scientists today still believe that the brain gives rise to consciousness. But the other 50% believe this. And I think this aligns with unity thinking. And if you think about it in a big picture, little picture is we are sometimes spoken of as spirit, soul, body, which in today's language is spirit, consciousness, body. And if we think of the greater consciousness, then we can say that there's spirit, consciousness, and the entire physical universe. And I find that so amazing and interesting. He said, everything that we talk about, everything we regard as existing, postulates consciousness. Look, you couldn't be here today if you weren't using your consciousness. And so then, what is consciousness? Because, goodness gracious, if we don't talk about that, we're not going to get anywhere. So for years, for decades, consciousness was defined as awareness. In other words, what are you aware of? Well, you're aware of sensations. Are you feeling hot? Are you feeling cold? Are you feeling the seat under you? And then there are thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and images we're aware of. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are associated feelings, emotions, experiences, and attitudes. Are you aware of that? Yeah. So those are the primary things that we're, in our everyday life, are aware of. And they're not separate. When we have feelings, we become aware of thoughts. When we have thoughts, we become aware of feelings. I think of them as two sides to the same coin. One isn't bad, one isn't good. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. And so, these guys, Goldfein and Schiff, discovered this. Yes, consciousness is awareness, plus arousal. So what's arousal? Well, when you go around your everyday life, you're aware of things, but there's not much stirring in you. But if you're like me, when I see dark chocolate, I start to feel something. That's that arousal function. So it's like getting a little bit of a head of steam behind me around that chocolate, especially hot chocolate, actually. And there's a third component, motivation. You see, when I see hot chocolate, my energy starts to go up, and if I get enough energy behind it, I'm motivated to do what? Take action. To go find chocolate. How many like chocolate? I know it's not everybody, but geez. I start my mornings with choffee. You know what choffee is? It's coffee with chocolate. It's kind of a mocha. Okay, so awareness plus arousal plus motivation. Now, okay, so that's interesting information. But if there's something you want to get done that you're not acting on, there's probably something missing in your arousal function or your motivation function. So this can become like a diagnostic tool, not just information rattling around in our brain center. So, we're talking about raising consciousness. We gotta know what we're raising, right? Thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and images. Feelings, emotions, experience, and attitudes, right? That's what you're aware of? So you've got to raise your quality of that. Not the quantity, the quality. And so feelings and emotions and experiences and attitudes are a little bit difficult to get our hands around. Now, you've already experienced something that will change your feelings, or you can use to change your feelings. It's like a singer like him, or a musician like him. Music can help change our moods. That's important to know. If you're feeling down, put on a happy song. This is why Unity used to talk about joy songs all the time. But you look in the hymnal, you gotta find a new joy song. Okay. All right, so what are we raising? Well, so the primary thing we're going to work on really is our beliefs. Because those are the big things in our consciousness. Those are the big filters in our consciousness through which we see our world. And a lot of them we're not aware of. But beliefs are hard to change because we're hardwired to feel great about standing our ground. That's recent science, folks. When we start to stand our ground, our pleasure center is activated. So look at it. One affirmation and one denial isn't going to change it. You're going to have to work with it. After all, our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, worked 2 years to change her consciousness. It can be work, and it is totally worth it. Totally. Okay? So, what are we raising? We're changing the overall quality of our belief system, basically. And how do we do that? Well, so if I tell you, change your belief system, is it actionable? No. Why? Because it's vague. And what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness. Simple as that. Yep, that's where it stays. Okay, so what we want to do when we want to raise our consciousness is find one belief that we want to change, a belief that no longer works for us, a belief that we formulated maybe years ago as the best way of taking care of ourselves. But today, not so much. So, how are we going to do it? Using our divinity. Now that's vague, isn't it? If I told you how to use your divinity to do this, you would walk out of this room and go, right. That was pretty. Right. Okay, so, you are fully human and fully divine. A lot of us don't believe that because we're not aware of the fullness of our divinity, nor are we aware of the fullness of our humanity. I'm only expressing right here and now a little sliver of my humanity. But in order to be expressing this sliver of humanity, I'm using my divinity. But what's that? How do you like that? Jesus walking on water. That's a big. I don't know. Jesus needs to change his consciousness then, right? Okay, so Myrtle Fillmore said, rather than holding to the view that God is a spiritual being with parts like man, she might have winked there, I'm not sure, a being subject to change and capable of varying moods, God is it, neither male nor female, but principle. The primary definition for the divine for both Myrtle and Charles is God is principle. That's why a lot of the other flavors of New Thought are called divine science, religious science, Christian science, because this marriage of science and spirituality, we're working with these folks. And Charles said, and then if you can conceive that all that principle is right at hand for your use, all principles can be grasped by you. Now look at this. This came from August 27th, 1924, from an unpublished workers' talk. So Charles was teaching the employees at Unity. Now that's the coolest thing for me. But there's something else. Eric Butterworth, one of our Unity greats, said, God is spirit, present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. Hear that. We could say God is principle, present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. What that means for you and me is we each have something like 37.2 trillion cells. That means every principle is present in every one of those cells. That's why your body does pretty well operating on its own without our interference. So your divinity is made up of these principles. So if we knew what these principles are or were, we can then consciously use them. Right now, if you don't know any of them, you're using them unconsciously. Sometimes you get a good result, sometimes you get a bad result, and frankly, when that was happening with me, I don't know what's going on. But when we can learn what these principles are, and a few of the laws, then we can be conscious about the process of raising the quality of our consciousness. So, I put the fireworks display there because you have probably heard, like I heard over the decades, I have a spark of the divine in me. I have a wave of the divine in me. I have a drop of the divine in me. And feeling very good about that. But the thing is, it's not just a spark. You got the whole fireworks display present there. All you have to do is become aware of it and put a demand on it. Decree a thing. That's how this stuff works. So, how many even know the 12 powers? Have heard of them? Yeah? If you were like me when I first learned about them, I didn't like them, but we've become friends. So the 12 powers are 12 divine ideas or 12 principles that we can use consciously to raise our consciousness. The powers don't use you. They're just sitting there waiting for you to wake up to them within you to use them as you will. So here they are. Faith, strength, discernment, love, they're everywhere. So answer yes or no to this. Thumbs up. Do you notice you have the ability to enliven things?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to release things?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to be passionate?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to organize, sequence, and adjust?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to make choices?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to understand?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to imagine and visualize?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability of that personal dominion, your personal authority? Notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. Which is over your own consciousness, not over anybody else's, okay? Unless you're dealing with minor children or elderly adults. Dominion is over our own consciousness. If anyone wants to apply to be my adult at some point, all right? Okay? And so then do you notice you have the ability to desire? Do you notice you have the ability to compare and contrast? Do you notice you have the ability to be strong?
Yes.
Do you notice you have the ability to believe?
Yes.
So you have just proven to yourself that you have the abilities that you express using these 12 powers. So no question, they're there. So I like to think of these 12 powers as an operating system for our consciousness. Operating system. But I also think of them this way, as team consciousness. Have you noticed that all these team sports have various people playing various positions? Yes? So we can do that with this. So here we go. Faith is my believer. Elimination is my bouncer, my personal creator, by the way. Understanding is knower. Zeal is my enthusiast. Love is my desirer. Order is my adjuster. Imagination is my dreamer. Life is my vitalizer. Discernment is my evaluator. Dominion is my sovereign. Will is my chooser. And strength is my stalwart. Those are 12 people on my team consciousness. And I can use them to adjust my consciousness using a law. How many have heard of the law of mind action?
Now raise your hand, everybody.
You heard it as thoughts held in mind produce after kind. That's kind of a little meme we sent out there to the universe. It's catchy. But it's really thoughts and feelings held in mind produce more thoughts and feelings of the same kind. Yeah. And where are those being produced? In mind. Okay? Now, when we hear stuff like that, when we read stuff like that, it's better if we put them in the first person. So, my thoughts and feelings held in my mind produce more thoughts and feelings of the same kind. Where? In my mind. So then we take personal ownership. So, let me give you an example. So, sincere desire is a form of prayer. Charles Fillmore, just think about that. And have you noticed from the moment you wake up in the morning until you go to bed, you move from desire to desire to desire. From one to one to one. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And so why is that important? It's because the power of love is our ability to desire. It's also our ability to be loving. But this is the word that activates best for me. Love is our desire. Understanding is my knower, my ability to know, and discernment is my ability to evaluate and compare and contrast. And these work together. I call these the little engine that could. Think of it as a little engine within you. Okay? Not only you desire a moment to moment to moment, do you notice you're evaluating? You're comparing and contrasting and sometimes judging as you move throughout your day. Yeah. So we're using these powers to do that. You're using them. And it's a little engine. It's always going. And when we get ourselves focused on something we really desire, it's like we speed up that engine. And as we speed up that engine, we're comparing and contrasting. Here's an example. You get up in the morning. You go into your kitchen. And you're understanding, you're knowing what foods are there. Yes? Or maybe you're having a look. Okay? Maybe in your refrigerator. But there's a multitude of choices there. So you're using your power of understanding to know what's there. You're using your power of wisdom or discernment to compare and contrast what's there. Because you can't eat them all. Sometimes maybe I can. But what's happening? I'm using this understanding and this evaluator to choose something, to make a choice from all of them. They're all in your cabinet because you like those foods. It's just that this morning you might prefer the egg over the oatmeal. And when we're choosing one thing, we don't choose all the others. This is something that's in our consciousness. We're using it all the time. And here's the thing. This is not only information. This is a power tool. Pun intended. If you're having trouble making a decision, your ability to choose might be not working optimally. You're not working it well, put it that way. Maybe you're not knowing everything. Maybe you're not comparing and contrasting. And hey, maybe you're not really desiring to have breakfast this morning. You're just in the habit pattern. So you see, these can be used as a diagnostic tool. For what? For making your life better, for raising your consciousness in a way that will work for you. So, fundamentals of consciousness. You gotta know what consciousness is. You gotta know what's easiest to change. Well, belief isn't easy to change, but it gives us the most bang for the buck. You know you need to know principles. You know you need to know laws. So you got some work to do. You need to discover what all these things are. I'll give you one other quick example. You were talking about donating to a really wonderful group. Well, guess what? There's two principles. Benevolence and generosity. And when you give, you are using both of those principles. If you find yourself being a little stingy about giving, take a deep breath. Wait a minute. The principle of benevolence is right here. The principle of generosity is right here. And I can use it to be benevolent and generous. And let's take that into meditation. So I invite you to take a few deep breaths. Whatever it is you do to make yourself comfortable, some people close their eyes, some people don't. There's not a right or wrong way to do it. There's what works for you. And so just notice your breath. Notice the rising and falling of your chest. Notice how effortlessly you do that. And isn't it wonderful that you don't even have to think about doing it? Because the entirety of every principle and law is present in every cell of your body. And each cell has innate intelligence to do these things. Even when a part of your body seems to be demonstrating sickness, the rest of your body is doing fine. Thank you very much. And so we've learned how to use these principles and laws unconsciously. Take a moment and use your power of imagination to visualize how much better your life might be in the next moment if you use these principles and laws consciously. You are 100% divine. Sure, we don't express all of it all the time. Just like our humanity, because you're 100% human, just like me. And you couldn't be a human being with consciousness and body if you weren't already using the principles that your divinity is. So repeat after me. I am 100% divine. I am 100% human. And maybe this is just a little bit beyond what you can believe right now. And as we claim it, as we know it, we can grow our way into it. So let's do that again. And let's bring up that zeal factor, that enthusiasm, that natural ability you have in you as you repeat after me. I am 100% divine.
I am 100% divine.
I am 100% human.
I am 100% human.
Now to our zeal, we're going to use our power of dominion, your personal authority over your own consciousness. And we're going to say it again. I am 100% divine.
I am 100% divine.
I am 100% human.
I am 100% human.
And so you are. And so I am. And so it is. Amen.
Let's give Reverend Dr. Hasselbeck a round of applause. We are absolutely abundant at Unity of Mesa, so let's use our powers of benevolence and generosity. I was listening, I promise. There's many ways to give at Unity of Mesa. You can give online on our website. You can use the Vanco app. You can text to give. You can send a check in the mail. You can donate in person when the ushers pass the basket around to you. You can go into the bookstore and donate with your debit or credit card if you so choose. Throw your handfuls of pocket change in there too. You can, and let's do our blessing of the offering. Say it with me.
Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
We give thanks for the gifts, but especially for the givers.
day. I'm looking tired and feeling myself. Felt like there was something missing in my day-to-day life. So I quickly opened the wardrobe, pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt that seemed clean. Tied it up with a pair of shoes that were ripped up around the seat. And I thought, these shoes just don't suit me. Hey, I put some new shoes on and everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inspiring, short on money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine down, running late and I don't need an excuse to wear my brand new shoes. Woke up late one Thursday, I'm seeing stars and rubbing my eyes, and I felt like there were 2 days missing as I focused on the time. Then I made my way to the kitchen. I had to stop and be shocked at what I found. A room full of all of my friends all dancing round and round. And I thought, hello, new shoes, bye-bye my blues. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, oh, short on money, but a long time. The sweet sunshine now, running late and I don't need an excuse. Wearing my brand new shoes. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, take me home. I'm walking to the break of dawn. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, take me home. Walking to the break of dawn. Yeah, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, oh, short on money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine now, running late and I don't need an excuse to wearing my brand new shoes. Oh, hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting, oh, short money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine now, running late and I don't need an excuse to wearing my brand new shoes.
Michael Carlston, and of course we have our Kyle Garcia. Right there, 'cause you got a big prize coming.
Yes.
Yes, he does. So the ushers are coming forward. We're going to bless your offering by saying, we are one with the opulence of God. We are now in the flow of infinite abundance, and we give thanks for the prosperity that is ours by divine right. Woo! Oh, she doesn't have a mic, so I'll just keep talking. Hospitalities and, oh, Paul has a mic.
Oh, go ahead.
Hospitalities in the garden. We have prayer chaplains available. If you're a prayer chaplain today, we have Delane, we have Jim, we have John. Please avail yourselves of these magnificent beings who have worked on the fundamentals of their consciousness, and they will be able to empower, enlighten, and energize your ability to be fully divine and fully human at the same time, which is the goal. Yeah, amen. All right, Reverend Paul
Yes.
has books.
I have books in the back.
And they're discounted
Yes.
from the price that you would pay anywhere else. The
Yes.
value, however, is not discounted.
No.
Nor is the wisdom. Thank you for being with us today.
My honor and pleasure.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us online. We're all part of the beautiful community that Unity of Mesa is. Start doing this. Get your new shoes on.
Oh, yeah.
Get your new shoes
Shoes on.
on.